Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, that man I love. I'm feeling mighty lucky, I got a brand new man. Yes, I'm feeling mighty lucky, I got a brand new man. I'm telling you, he loves
me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome out to the show. We have one of the most incredible guests, the vocalist of all time. But while you guys are coming on, I'm going to play a song for you. This is called Moonchild.
Okay, Lindsay, you're a this one has this one has more than a quarter bell.
Hey, everybody, if you're just getting here, welcome out. Hit that love button. You're going to see the incredible two-time Grammy-winning Diane Schuur. All our friends call her Deedles. All right, clap your hands. How's everybody feeling?
Pretty good, Dee.
Right on, right on.
That was your composition?
Yeah, this is my composition. I think they can actually hear you out there, even though you're not on screen
hi,
yet.
everybody. Deedles or Deeds.
Right on. What an exciting day for me. I want to introduce to you somebody who gave me one of my first opportunities. And, you know, she's won 2 Grammys. And if you're in music, you know what a bit of a blood, sweat, and tears goes in to win 2 Grammys. It's kind of like signing yourself up for the Olympics and then going and winning the whole thing twice. So, you know, maybe we can ask her about that now. I have so many questions from you to her. She's performed and recorded with Stevie Wonder, B.B. King, Burt Bacharach, Barry Manilow, Sergio Mendes, Count Basie Orchestra, Jose Feliciano, Maynard Ferguson, Stan Getz, Vince Gill, Alice Krauss, Bobby Caldwell, and the list goes on and on. Her album with B.B. King was #1 on the Billboard charts, and she was Johnny Carson's guest on NBC's The Tonight Show an incredible 11 times, and you know, we want to hear all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out the incredible Diane Schuur. Her friends call her Deedles. Let's get right into it. Why do people call you Deedles? For people who don't know, now I know because I've toured with you for many years, but why do people call you the Deedles?
Well, yeah, the Deeds, yeah, that too. Well, Mama used to call me Deedle Babe when I was a little kid, and then when I became a young adult, it was changed to Deedles. And it's been like that every time, or, you know, throughout my life. Deedles, Deeds, Deedly Weedly, all sorts of different nicknames within the nickname, if you will. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey, that's for sure.
What are your earliest memories coming up? When did you know that you had it going on? You know, when did you... Was there a moment? Was there a gig? Was there a person? Was there a time that you were like, "Wow, this music thing just might work out"? And you're from, you know, give them a little background. I know a lot of people know about you, but you're originally from the Great Northwest.
Yeah, I was born in Tacoma, raised in Auburn, Washington, at least some of the time, and you know, one of the songs that's on this album, "Running on Faith." That's the title track of it. But one of the tunes is called "This Bitter Earth," and I remember Dinah Washington's version of it with the strings and all of that. And I believe it got to #1 on the R&B charts, and which was really cool. And Dinah, of course, was a big influence on me. And when I performed at the Holiday Inn on January 4th of 1964. The first tune that I did was "September in the Rain," which is on an album that was released in 2008. The album's called "Some Other Time," and "September in the Rain," my version of it as a little girl, just turned 10, is on that particular record. So that's really cool.
Now, you have a wide range of material on this record. Now, I know you, and people who know you know that you can do anything. And, you know, I think this is... don't you play piano on all of the tracks on this particular record?
Everything.
Now, that's not something that happened previously, is it? I mean, even though I know, like, when I hear you play, you know, "The Man I Love," and those changes, or any changes, or "Moment's Notice," or "Giant Steps," people who don't know need to know. The Deeds plays the piano. So you play all the piano on this record?
On everything, yeah. Everything. There was another album that I did that was a country album, The Gathering, that came out on June 7th of 2011, that I did play a lot. But that was about the only album that I did, other than maybe isolated. You know, there may have been a couple of isolated ones, but this particular album, my latest release, I did indeed play on all of it. And that was really a lot of fun, and I arranged it. And of course, Ernie Watts is a brilliant saxophone player, and he co-produced it with me. It was quite an adventure that we all had. at this on this album.
Now, where did you guys record it? What recording studio did you record the record at?
Well, it's called Music People, and it's in Rancho Mirage, California, which is right next door to where I live, which is Cathedral City. And I'm sitting in my living room right now, and this is the Baldwin piano that I don't know if you can see it or not, but anyway, it's really a trip doing this from home. I call it the Desert Deedle Pad. And,
oh, right on. Now, you are also the producer now.
Yeah.
Deed's the producer. This is and usually, I mean, you've been on these giant record labels. Like when I first met you, and you were recording with Dave Grusin and all these different people. But now, talk to me about how does that feel to be, I mean, you've always been, you know, an in-charge kind of woman. But how about now actually producing your own project, putting your project out? How does that feel, and is that a challenge, or has it just been a smooth sailing?
As far as being in charge,
just a new role, you know, of being. It's a different thing.
Yeah, it's okay, you know. It's nice to know, especially when I have a direction in mind, and everybody has just been so great at following that direction, and just really wonderful to be able to work with Ernie Watts on sax and Tom Rotella on guitar and Bruce Litt on bass and Kendall Kay on drums. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone.
Now, for those of you who don't know who Ernie Watts is, he's one of the most respected saxophonists in the business. He's I mean, he's recorded with actually the solo. When I started playing with Gino Vanelli, he recorded the "I Just Want to Stop" solo on that record. So that's one of the first things I did when I got in the band was transcribe that solo. But Ernie's recorded with James Taylor, Charlie Hayden, Dave Grusin, Lee Ritenour, Billy Cobham, Alice Cooper, Donna Summer, Bill Withers, Quincy Jones, Marvin Gaye, Freddie Hubbard. So all the slackers, you know, he's the bomb diddly. Tell him I said hello. Maximum respect to that guy. He's an inspiration.
Oh, and there was this other guy. His name's Frank, and I can't remember his last name. Frank, you know, the real crazy, eccentric kind of guy. He had a daughter named Moon Unit. Frank Zappa. That's it.
Yeah.
Recorded with him too. So,
very
it's been really something. So.
Now, I have a section called Fun Facts. Can you give me just a minute? Go with me, Deeds. I actually created a little video, and then I'm going to come right back, and then I'm going to ask you some questions, okay, and share some stuff, some fun facts that that Nancy sent me on your approval, okay? So give me just a second. This is my section called Fun Facts.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. So back to Deeds. So the fun facts are that I want to share. They said that when you're a very young girl, to avoid disturbing your family in the middle of the night, you would slip into your bedroom closet to practice singing. Is that right?
Yeah, and woke them up, and they told me to shut up. And
well, that didn't work out very well, did it?
No, it didn't.
So, and apparently you live with a rescued cat, a beautiful blue point Persian named Puss Puss.
Yes, I do. Well, her name originally was Phyllis, and I had a lovely lady that house sat for me for a year, and her name was Phyllis, and it got a little bit confusing between Phyllis the human and Phyllis the cat. So I thought, now I'm going to change the cat's name to Puss Puss. And she actually does recognize her name, that's for sure. And she is beautiful. And with what's going on right now, she really has been a comfort with all the social distancing stuff. Puss Puss has been basically my only contact, tactile contact. So it's been an amazing journey with Puss and me.
I know you've been very fond of your pets, and you have another thing that not everybody knows about you is that you have nicknames for almost everything. So you have a brother who's called Pilot. Don't you call him Pilot?
Yeah, I do. Did you hear Puss Puss meow just then?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she just meowed. Yep, she just did. She says she wants treats. She wants her temptation treats. But yes, my brother's name is David, or we call him, a lot of people call him Dave, but I call him Pilot because he actually is a pilot. And so that's how that came about. And ladies and gentlemen, you probably noticed that I called Patrick Lamb, I called him Deep, and the reason is because his first name is David, his middle name is Patrick, and so I just kind of like combined them and called him Deep, and he'll probably never live that down.
What are some other nicknames? I mean, you got nicknames for just about everybody and everything. Can you just share a few of them?
Sure. I have 2 computers. My laptop, I call it Lenny the laptop because it's a Lenovo. And then I've got a Dell desktop, and I call Dell Deedle. And let's see, then I have my iPhone. I call that one Flipper because I used to have flip tops, but I thought, well, why change it? It sounds good. And when I've been traveling on the road a lot, and so it's just easier. Hey, dear, would you mind handing me Flipper? Or, whatever. So that's just some of the nicknames that I've had. So
right on. We've got a bunch of questions coming in. So Laurie Miller, she's a top fan out there. She wants to know, do you remember your first recording?
My first recording was something that I did when I was 17 years old. It was called Dear Mommy and Daddy. It was done in Toluca Lake near Burbank, California. The guy who produced it, his name is Jimmy Wakely. He was a big country and western star back in the 50s. And I did this record, it was a 45 RPM, for those of you who may or may not remember what a 45 is. God, I remember putting a 45 record on a turntable and have to put the spindle in the middle of it. And but at any rate, I was 17 when I recorded 2 songs that Jimmy's daughter had written called Dear Mommy and Daddy on one side, and the other side was called The Sun is Shining. That was my very first recording. And it actually, I believe it made it to number 30 on the charts. And then the next album that I recorded was Pilot of My Destiny, which won a little bit of recognition because I did 2 tunes from it when I was at the White House performing for the All-Stars Jazz Concert Series for PBS during the Reagan administration. And actually that can be found on my website, DianeSchuur.com.
Right on. Well, we have several different versions of this particular question, so it's somewhere between when did you know you had a gift? What was your first performance, or that got that going? That got you just knowing that you
in the closet.
In the closet, you felt it.
Yeah, in the closet.
You knew it was happening.
I think that's when I kind of discovered it. In the closet, so
you yourself,
really came out of the closet.
You yourself and I. That was it. That was it. And you're just like, that's all you needed to know. Okay. So what do you think? I've got a ton of questions here. Just going to bounce through a few, and if you want to, whatever you want to talk about, you can jump off. What was one of your most favorite collaborations? Because you've collaborated with like everybody on the planet. I mean, from Stevie Wonder to B.B. King to if you had to pick one or two, what was a couple of your favorite?
Oh gosh, I loved working with B.B. King a lot. He was so compassionate, and he actually introduced me to the veggie burger because he was a diabetic. And then let's see, and then of course there was Stevie Wonder. That was really a wonderful collaboration that I did. I'll never forget that. Then there was another gentleman that I worked with on the same album, Stephen Bishop. he did that famous song On and On, and he also did the theme from Tootsie. Excuse me. He became Alison Krauss was really wonderful to work with. Vince Gill worked with him too.
You worked with everybody. It's like, how do you even choose? How do you possibly?
It's really hard.
I mean,
I don't know, Deep. I don't know if it would really be fair to choose, because I don't want anybody to feel left out, because everyone has their unique gifts to be able to share.
Different flavors of great ice cream.
Yeah.
Something like that.
A girlfriend brought me some ice cream today, speaking of which I'm going to have a little dessert later. So.
I had some today. It was delicious. It was delicious. A little chocolate sauce.
You got to have comfort foods, you know.
Man, it's
so
nothing like vanilla. Are you with that too? You like vanilla? What's your favorite? I mean,
I like vanilla. I'm sorry about my scarf. It just kind of like collapsed on me. You folks can probably see the different streaks in my hair. I've been to a beautician for obvious reasons. But my favorite, I love chocolate, but I also like vanilla with chocolate syrup, with Hershey syrup, which is really good. Love to mix it in. So good.
That sounds delicious. Who haven't you worked with that you would like to work with? There you go. Is there anybody you're like, nobody? You've done it.
Gosh. I don't even know if George Benson records anymore, but he's such a talent. And, can't really think of. I love Diana Krall. She's really Diana Krall. I love. What was the other gal's name? Diane Reeves. She's really wonderful too. And gosh, it's trying to think here.
That's all right. Well, put it on the back burner. So
okay.
So when did from Christina Walker? So the last one was from Gigi Steele, and the first one was from Barbara George. I'm sorry, I meant to mention everybody. Christina Walker. When did you start traveling the world, and how old were you?
First, let's see. Traveling the world. Well, we did a around the world tour in '88 with Billy Cobham, James Moody, Ahmad Jamal, Johnny Hodges, and others. Let's see, Hank Jones. Trying to remember as many as I possibly can. Yeah, it was quite a tour. We went everywhere, all over the place. My first trip to Japan was in 1985. I was around 32 years old at the time. You do the math. I'm 66 now. So.
And still looking beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Still looking gorgeous.
Thank you.
So this is from Valerie Litton Herndon. Let's see. What do you most respect about, or what do you most enjoy in another performer that you work with? Like, what are the important qualities? Or is it just? I mean, I'll just let you run with that. That's
well. I love spontaneity. I love. Hi, Plus. I know. I know you want to be in pictures, as the song says, dear. I love. That's hilarious. Isn't it, Deep? I think. Gosh, the uniqueness. People like Stevie, of course. Stan Getz, who's so melodic. And yourself. You're a wonderful performer in your own right. You're a star in your own right.
Thank you.
And you and I
thank you.
done a few duets together, and performing. And in Bend, Oregon was the last place that you and I actually performed. And Yeah, I've worked with you since you were 18 years old, and just it's been quite a journey for you and me as well. And you've seen me through a lot, and some of the struggles that I've gone through, and you were a great consolation for all that, and I thank you heartily for that.
Big hugs to you. You consider yourself hugged, virtually.
Yes, you see, yeah, big hugs.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You, Deeds gave me my first. For those of you who don't know, she gave me my first kind of big tour experience. Before Diane Schuur, I was playing all the time, but I was playing in clubs, and I was playing like 5-6 nights a week, for like, I don't know what it was, $60 then or something. Probably the same now. But but
you know how jazz is, right?
Yeah, nothing has changed. But anyway, I remember I got a call from Tim Bryson, who was playing with Body and Soul at the time, who was a corporate band, and he was like, "Hey, I got a call from this lady Diane Schuur." And he didn't know who you were, and I was like, I didn't know who you were. But then I was like, sure, I'm available, I could do it. So then I got a call from your manager, Peter Paul, at the time.
No, his name's Paul Cantor.
Oh, Paul Cantor, that's right.
Paulie Wally. Remember, I used to call him Paulie Wally.
Yeah, Paul Cantor. Yeah, he called and he had that kind of New York thing. And he's like, and he was calling from New York, so that was my first clue in. But he sent me all these records, and they had Stan Getz on them. So I put them on. I'm like, who the bleep is this? And so I was like, and so I went back home and I practiced like basically nonstop until I saw you at that first gig. And the first gig I remember was at the Arlen Schnitzer Concert Hall. It was sold out. And you started off with The Very Thought of You, which is just, but I remember I couldn't find the Schnitzer Hall. I didn't know where it was. That was how green I was. I had the map out. I was checking it out, trying to figure out, oh, is this place? It's huge, Anyway, I digress. It's been a great journey. I've been all over the world with you many times, and what a pleasure and so much gratitude.
Oh, thank you, Dee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Many questions here. So, Annette Joyce Bryce says, which artists do you listen to?
Actually, I haven't heard a lot from these people, but when this lockdown started, the coronavirus actually started, to boost myself up a little bit, I would hear this tune on a car commercial for Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, and I think there was one more. It was called Better Days. Oh, I know that there'll be better days. And it's by a group called One Republic. And for whatever reason, I really like that song a lot. And I love the Beatles. I love classic rock. I love Rush. I love, who else? Santana's earlier work. I love, oh God. Of course, I love Aretha Franklin. I love Joni Mitchell. I love Joan Armatrading. The list, I love Toto. The list just goes on and on.
I know you from touring with you. Like we'll be in the car, like on the way to a gig, and you'll hear a rock song, and because you got perfect pitch, you'll be like, hey, that's in B, and let's play, some Beatles song. You'll pick it out, and you'll be like, hey, you'll be like, hey, Scotty, can you, do you know this song?
Oh, Scotty, bless his heart. Scott Steed passed away. One of the best acoustic bass players in the world. I loved working with Scotty.
He was funny too. Funny and stories for days.
Yeah, and Susan, his partner, and I have had many communications. And of course, if you're listening, Susan, please accept my condolences. And yeah, it's wow.
Well, life is short, and we have to enjoy it. And that's one of the reasons I'm so glad I get to talk to you today.
Yeah.
We have a lot to share. And one of the things you shared with me was I was sent a video of you playing this at your house, Running on Faith. Is that okay if I share it with people?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play it here. Give me just a minute, and we'll be right back as we get a chance to listen to this song called Running on Faith.
3.
Lately I've been running on faith. What else can I do? And my world will be right when love comes over you. Lately I've been talking in my sleep. Couldn't think of a word I'd have to say, and my world would be right. If love will come away. I've always been one to take each and every day. Seems like by now I'd find a love who cares just for me. And we keep running on faith. All of our dreams would come true, and my world would be right when love comes over you. When love comes over you. Love comes over you. When love comes over you. When love comes over you.
How about that, everybody? So you're back. We're back with Deedles, Diane Schuur. It was called Running on Faith. Talk to us about faith. What does faith mean to you? Are you a person of faith? What's important about now? What that has enlightened all of us, and what do you take away from this? How about those 10 questions all at once?
Well, I do have a higher power, and I love one of the definitions of faith is find answers in the heart. And so I just try to meditate, concentrate on my breathing, and do my best to stay in the here and now instead of freaking out over what might happen in the future, because, just not, and just, if fear enters in, just not feed it. And, the higher consciousness, I try to concentrate on that, and hopefully humanity will be lifted into a higher consciousness throughout this whole thing, that there is a purpose that underlies everything.
Amen. You said about your record. I choose all the compositions for this album. I've been
Yes.
focusing on the condition of our world, about what is, and about what can be. What do you think can be? Tell, I just want to keep going with that for a minute, if you feel like it,
Well, one of the things that we could kind of like, I know fun facts happened a few minutes ago, but what can be, I'd love to be able to get a self-driving car and be able to be a lot more independent, get out on the road and tell the computer where to take me. That's what I hope that happens within my lifetime.
They actually they've been developing those even for large semis. So Tesla has a version of it. And I think there's actually, I don't know, you guys out there, do you know anything about that? I know we're really, 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 really close to having self-driving cars, and they've been in testing, but they haven't come up with anything that I think everybody wants to get into just yet.
Well, I think that, oil and everything has come down so much, and people aren't using as much fossil fuels, so it could be upon us before we know it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, so another question from, here's an off-the-wall question from Betty Fontanesi. Did you enjoy your gigs on All My Children? They want to hear about that.
My what?
Your gigs on All My Children? That's what they said.
I've never been on that soap.
Okay. Have you been on any soap?
Watch it, but I've never been on a soap, except I visited the Young and the Restless set 3 times.
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, and actually that's on my website. You can see pictures of that.
Great. And then Carell Dean Holden says, I'd like to know anything. Can you tell us anything about your childhood? What was that like?
Interesting.
Hashtag truth coming out.
Yeah.
I can relate. Hey, I can relate.
I think I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then, so the fun facts, you had your dream of driving a own self-driving car. And so you're on a new label called, is it a new label? Can you tell us about your record label, Jazz Heads, and Randy Klein?
Randy Klein is the head of Jazz Heads. And this is my second release with them, with Randy Klein and Company. I did an album, actually, it would have been released 6 years ago on June 10th. Of 2014, so it's been a while since I've, had a release as far as the record is concerned. So another record, but anyway, this is the second release, and they're based in New York. And actually, the album "I Remember You with Love" to Stan and Frank, that Stan Getz and Frank Sinatra, was done in New York. And one of the days was my 60th birthday, which was on December 10th. So.
Oh, wow. And we got a lot of listeners that want to know about your, just anything, tidbits you could tell us about. You had a special relationship with Ernestine Anderson, who hipped you to the song All Blues, which is on your new record, I might add.
Yeah, All Blues. I believe that's the 3rd track. Yes, it's the 3rd track. And Ernie, I used to call her Ernie, she and I were dear friends. I've been over to her house when she was alive. I actually worked at her club. It was called Ernestine's in downtown Seattle. And I remember at one of her performances that she did All Blues, and I was very enraptured. It just captured my imagination, and I thought to myself at the time, well, Deeds, you've got to do this tune someday. So that's exactly what I did.
I listened to the record, and as true to form, you cannot be contained. You can do anything. So it's a very diverse choices. Are there? Is there for somebody like you that can do such a diverse amount and different types of music effortlessly? Is there a river that runs through it? I mean, is there a central point, or is it just like a different friend each song?
I think you put it very eloquently. Each song I interpret, and it has become my friend. You know, like rivers have tributaries, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So those are the tributaries.
Like the chicken, you did a tribute to Jaco Pastorius.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun to do with Ernie and the guys. That was really a trip.
Wow. Well, let's see. Is there?
Palmer. Forgot to mention him on trumpet and flugelhorn. What an amazing musician. He did everything in one take. It was really amazing to see him work.
And then who else is in the rhythm section on the record?
Well, I said this a few minutes ago, but I will repeat. Bruce Lett, L-E-T-T, is on bass. Kendall Kay is on drums. And Tom Rotella is on guitar.
Beautiful. Is there anything else you'd like to share? We're so grateful for you taking the time out of your day. And I know Owie, I've known for so long, is taking time to make this all happen. And
he's chuckling. Yeah. Well, I would just suggest, you know, like I do, I wash my hands frequently, and I wear a mask out in public, and just, you know, I'm running on faith. What more can I say?
Right on. Well, what else do you want to say to everyone before we sign off here? Just you know, what would you like to tell everybody?
I just would love to tell all of you that I love you. I hope you feel the love from the Deeds, and I hope and pray for all of us, and that this is a very interesting time, and there is a before and there'll be an after, and I hope and another thing, I did take a test for the coronavirus last Saturday. Owie took me to Indio, California, and we both found out that we're negative. So far, so good. But no matter what happens, I know that I'm in grace, and everything works out the way that it's meant to work out. So there you go.
Beautiful. Well, I want to thank your whole team, Owen Cartwright, Nancy Meyer, your manager. They've been absolutely fabulous to work with, and Owen's like an incredible cook. Yeah, love you guys. And where can people get your new record if they want to get you to, sign it or send it to them, or where should they go?
Probably all the outlets that still exist. Of course, Tower Records doesn't anymore, but it can be streamed. Actually, as of a couple of days ago, there are 21,000 streams on Amazon and other platforms. You can also do that, and it can be ordered, from, like I say, the basic places that you do that, including Amazon and whatever. So
beautiful. Well, we want to send our love and blessings to all of you that are listening out there. Patrick Lamb, Diane Schuur, God bless all of you, and hope you have a blessed rest of your evening, and good night.
You too. Thanks.
You sure is fun. I know that.
This is where the party is.
Patches